To you, I have a wonderful session to present today, a wonderful industry track, which is retail. I have with me a beautiful set of panelists and the beautiful leaders with the experience that they're going to share with you and enlighten you. Beautiful insights to the retail industry and the vertical. I have with me our moderator, Mr. T.R. Ganesh. T.R. Ganesh sir, is a general manager and marketing professional with 27 years of experience in retail, banking, consumer durables, and product marketing, brand management, and the last, international marketing. He's an engineer by profession and he's also to his kitty masters in business administration. He has worked with giants like Philips, ICICI, Electrolux, and the Fimbo Group, and the last, the Unilever. He has been instrumental in setting up those startups in the Middle East and Africa, and also has a core competency in brand sourcing and product sourcing. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Deepika. Thanks.
I would be introducing you with our wonderful panelists, the veterans with us today. I have on the industry professional list, I have with me Mr. Sanjeev Bhatia. He's the founder and CEO Uniquely. Welcome, sir. I also have with me institution professional Ramesh Swami, the lead trustee SGBS Unnati Foundation. Welcome, sir. I also have with me youth professional Suhas Aspani, category manager, Reliance Retail Limited. And the last, I have youth student with me, Shubhankar Adhikare. He's the PhD BAM student, International Schools of Management Excellence. Thank you very much, panelists and our moderator, sir, for taking our time and being with us and taking this show ahead. Tia Ganesh, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Deepika. Hi, Sanjeev, Ramesh, Subhankar, and Subasis. It's going to be quite an interactive session that we're going to have. We all know that the retail industry is going through extremely challenging and difficult times in the pandemic. Basically, we have three scenarios in retail, what it was pre-pandemic. One, what it is currently, basically when the whole world was shut down, and can see opening up in phases from June. And we have the new normal that will come in the future once the pandemic is over. So basically what we're going to do is in the first part of the segment, we're going to briefly address the scenario, what it is now and what it will be in the future. And just give a small talk on that in terms of emerging technologies or the impact of climate change. I take it to the experts. I'll start with Sanjeev to give in your viewpoints. Then we can probably move on to the rest. Sanjeev, the mic is over to you now. Would you want to say something on this? I think you are muted. Sanjeev, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, right. Thanks for that. And I wanted to put my thoughts in context of the retail industry. What we've seen in this last decade is that there has been a tremendous change across the world. I'm not just limiting it to India, but definitely in India, how retail kind of absorbed technology and started reaching out to consumers through multiple channels. India was known largely for very traditional retail formats. Then we got the so-called modern retail formats, but mostly in metros. But last 10 years, we started to see a lot of change kind of driven by the online industry, a lot of money coming into the online industry, a lot of consumers getting a taste of what the retail offerings can be beyond their traditional kirana stores in, say, tier 2, tier 3 towns. And this is kind of the rising emerging economy that we see. But behind all of this, we need to also take into account the scenario that we see today of COVID. So before COVID, it was all very nice. Things were growing, the economy was growing, retail consumption was growing, and suddenly we get hit by COVID. And all of a sudden, the way we used to shop, the way we used to buy goods changes completely. In fact, for about 2 months, we hardly had access to anything beyond the bare necessities. And this clearly affected the industry, it affected the consumer. It also started people thinking what the future will be like. And besides my experience with the retail industry of last few years, we've also got very actively involved in sustainability, reaching out to many industries, including retail. And I wanted to lay down a bit of a scenario post-COVID. So what's going to happen now, we feel, is that this shock is going to change the way consumers, the way companies, the way retailers were thinking of how this industry would evolve. And increasingly, we are seeing with larger brands, this is starting internationally more with European brands, but we also now see this with Indian brands, not necessarily retail brands, but there are brands like Mahindra and Mahindra who are saying that their businesses will become carbon neutral in time to come. And this is going to have quite a ramification in the next few years on even the retail industry as the climate change issues come up. This pandemic is just one aspect. One can say it may not be a climate change issue, but in some ways, it's manifesting itself or showing us what a climate change issue can also be. We've had disruptions in many cities when floods come, for example, and the retail industry suddenly stops functioning because you cannot go to a store. And what I would urge the youth, the youngsters who are looking to go into this industry, is to also get a good understanding of some of these other issues that are coming up. And because they will shape the future, they will shape definitely the retail industry, they will shape consumer buying behavior, but they would even also shape the other industries. And it is important to look at these broader trends beyond just the industry trends that I'm sure the panel will also be talking about very soon. With that, back to you, TR.
Okay. Very, very fruitful in terms of your thought. I was very impressed on the effect on the climate change. This natural calamities could also affect this industry, which is something that I had not thought about seriously. So points to ponder. I'll just move on to Ramesh in terms of an institutional perspective. Ramesh, can you please give your rich experience to the thought that the youth can also take away from?
Yeah. So, so retail has been a very big source of employment in India, right? And the beauty has been, it has been across the country. So the numbers have been huge and there has always been a demand in that area. Suddenly, you are finding a change in that. Suddenly, you're finding a lot of employers not requiring people, a lot of employers cutting down. Third thing which is happening is the immigrant workers going back, which will create some kind of demand locally. Locals start getting into it. But this has been a problem, and this is going to become a very big problem in future because the retail industry will move into, there are three verticals which in the sales. So retail will definitely get a hit. The e-commerce is going to become more and more popular and bigger. And then, of course, you have this third vertical also of large conglomerates who are there, and you feel that. But there is definitely a sales force which is in the field that is going to gain a lot of importance again. So because today what will happen is the moment you get into e-commerce and you don't have the physical touch, which is so critical for Indians. I still feel that post-pandemic, we are all saying everything will change. I totally agree. But we have always seen that, in India, the whole thing, and even abroad, people love to go out. It's not about buying a shirt or a sari. It's about the whole philosophy of going out, enjoying the whole thing. It becomes a thing. So I am not sure whether how much will be affected. Obviously, it is going to be affected. There is a fear it could happen 6-8 months, but and it has become retail becomes that much more costlier because of the space and other things. So there is, and the money power in people today with the pandemic, etc. They're thinking of saving money for the future, which they had never thought. All those things are going to take a big impact on the entire thinking process. But obviously, I think in the market, for as long as if the youth are looking at jobs, at looking at retail, it becomes a bigger basket called sales, which encompasses probably the retail, the field sales, the e-commerce, the big conglomerates who are having huge, like Costco. That kind of things are slightly different. Then number one. Number two, in the marketing area, there is going to be a definite change with the AI and all these things happening. The entire market segment, the way they will sell a product is going to change. They will already, it is happening. You suppose you like, let's say, KFC or a Subway, and you're walking on the street, suddenly you find pop-ups of those advertisements coming. So the entire branding, they focus on how they will approach the individuals buying through, whether it is e-commerce or whether it is on the field, etc. That also is going to change a lot in the coming years, with so much of technology happening and so much of bombardment of data into the technology. I think this is what probably.
Yeah. Thank you, Ramesh. The quick two takeaways that I have from your talk is, one, the current job losses that the world is facing in terms of manpower losses, labor losses, etc. The other most significant part that I found it is the AI, artificial intelligence, and the robotics taking over. So this can actually throw up a lot of opportunities to the youth when these two aspects come into the fold. Now, I just move into Subhasis, who is actually thick into retail. He's deep diving into it totally as category manager for Reliance. So I want your thoughts on the panel discussion so far, and how is it that you have been going through this phase, and what do you see for the future? Your audio is on mute. Huh? Your audio is on mute. Yeah.
Sorry. Both the respected panelists, they gave a very good idea about what would be the future of retail. I'm completely agree with them, because the way we are doing earlier, it has to be changed, and that is the demand of the time right now. The way we are doing earlier, we have to change so many things. So I have spent nearly 10 years into e-commerce industry, that is a part of retail industry. I am a bit lucky. I am in a industry right now that has not seen that much impact that the brick and mortar segment has seen. So what I can expect in the future, the actual operation has to be changed. The way we are doing that has to be changed. And one thing earlier, some panelists already focused that because I'm in e-commerce industry and Indians, particularly they need that touch and feel. In e-commerce industry, the problem though, after this pandemic, we have seen a boom. That boom is not that much great, but we have seen a boom in the e-commerce industry. It is only because most of the retails has been closed down, and now people are bit scared to go out to purchase their even grocery and everything. And because of that, there is a slight boom. But the problem with e-commerce industry that it is not giving that touch and feel. So now from e-commerce perspective, now all the different company had to come with how they can give a experience to the consumer, that suppose somebody is buying a pair of shoes, so he has to try it, he has to work for 10-15 meters, and then he will select that product. And if somebody is buying apparel, they have to do a trial and everything. But at this moment, all those things are not possible in e-commerce industry. So now, for particularly e-commerce industry, they have to think of that how that touch and feel element can be brought, so that means the missing element of e-commerce industry can be taken here. And in retail sector, particularly in retail sector, now the operation should be managed very well. The operation should be managed very well. So one thing that means I can say, in retail industry, what happen? It might be for another 6 months or 1 year. They have to manage the crowd very well. And how they are going to manage the crowd, because in most of the retail industry, most of the buying that happens generally in the weekends. So now the things are completely different in West Bengal. In many places now, weekends are completely locked down. So they have to plan that what are the things they can do. Otherwise, again, I'll say that once the pandemic will that is, or any solution will come, any vaccine is coming, then things will get normal. But again, we have to rely on technology. We have to rely on certain processes that yet has not been used. So there are so many things should be changed from the technology perspective, from the operation perspective, the way we are managing. We have to manage our time very well. Because right now most of us are working at our home. So what I found, working at home also, that's equally efficient rather than going to office and coming to Indian Street. Because if I'm going to my office, I'm spending 1 hour and nearly 2 hours by traveling. So these are the time also I can save. But now we have to devise that how we can bring that equal or more efficiency, even if the challenges are there.
Okay, thank you, Subhasis. One trend that I found is a lot of the Kirana stores have come alive because of proximity to people, and it's again a situation where the traditional trade is picked up. So this phenomenon is not only
Correct.
true in India, even in a place like Dubai, where people used to go to hypermarkets to do their purchase. Now we just move into the nearby grocery to pick our stuff because it's going to we're going to buy what we want. It's not that we're going to hoard stuff. So that shift in consumer behavior is very evident during this COVID times. So that's one shift that we have found. Now, I'll just take it to Subhankar. One specific question. We have seen a lot of changes in the educational policy of late. Okay, so I'm sure that's going to bring in a lot of excitement to you in terms of the changes that have been brought in. If you can just talk a few words on that, other than what the panelists have said, it would be very heartening to hear from you, being a student.
Thank you, sir. And it was a great insight from Sanjeev sir, Ramesh and Subhasis sir, and you as well. In the retail market, as we are all seeing, that due to this pandemic crisis, people are not willing to go outside and go to the online store. And even we can see that Zomato and Swiggy are competing. Big B means bringing up their genies, bringing up stuff to their home. That is completely just overcoming all that physical scenario of a retail industry. Now, being in an education perspective, what we are taught now, first of all, we were being mainly focusing on the 4 P's, as we know, that the product, price, placing, and promotions. But now what we are mainly taught, that how that we, from the shifting of the business community to the crisis management, that during this COVID time, how kind of retailer can face a crisis and how to manage that. You have to be very much good in that scenario planning, to say one of the thing also, that in most of the times we have been taught, like how the retail industry is, how going to pitch to this customer, how we can make our sales happen. But it is completely changing due to we have to make a scenario plan, as in the first stage of corona, 2 to 3 months most of the things have happened. And once the product or the things which are gonna when it's gonna pick up the road, the retailers are gonna go up month. And next, how the retailer is gonna stay off on the market for the next 12 months. That's what's gonna happen. One thing to quote of Ramesh sir, as he talked about, and you also, Ganesh sir, as you talked about the AI and trending business policy. One thing that a boom happened in our education system is that we are being exposed to business analytics in this retail sector as it has been coming up. As in how, first of all, we were just only given a knowledge that we have to maintain accounts of different things. It means retail jobs have many aspects, like in marketing also, in different customer retention, you can say up. Then you can say inventory management we have. So in that prospects, everything analysis is coming up. Now we have been advised to take up courses, to take business analytics courses. Means rather than retails, we are also asked to use parallelly to take our notion into business analytics, how to analyze. Now, if I give a short description for customer retention in case of analytics, what is happening? We have been taught that how to analyze the big data, which person, which sector is inclining towards which of my product, and how I'm going to advertise it, how I'm going to analyze it. Those things are being taught to us. Secondly, in case of marketing, we only hardly barely few people knew about SEOs, that is search engine optimization and search engine marketing, as that email marketing. But as we can see, as Ramesh also mentioned, that while we are going in front of KFCs and all, we are getting pop-ups. So we being a retailer, we have to also see towards that aspects. In case of inventory management, using a big data. Then in case of accounting also, it's all about getting the flavor of analytics in a marketing retail prospect. That's really bring, as you said, an exciting exposure we are getting towards. And as we all know that big data will help us strategize how to make up and analyze your data to bring up things. Then it will help us obviously prepare a team for our next set of, like, after COVID. Yes, obviously COVID will stay with us. I would like to say my father is a doctor, so the first day when COVID hit, I'm still at my hostel. I mean, I'm talking from my college itself, and I am a Kolkata resident. So first day, my father just said, "Beta, Corona is gonna stay. You have to study and you have to see your career from in your hostel itself." So one thing we have to be prepared about it, how to make our team that after Corona, things are gonna change. Yes, everything is gonna be online. Things are gonna boom in an explicit manner. How gonna make our team, how to execute our plan in a boldness, and how to augment your efforts in the evaluation of your plan and the execution of a plan. That will be more important for a student perspective. That much I would like to add.
Very nice,
Thank you.
Shubhankar. It was very heartening to see the shift in terms of the educational system, in terms of the modules that you learn. Ours is all age-old marketing modules that you used to learn, and if they're going to teach you analytics and the modern aspects, nothing like it. Now, I have a question for Sanjeev, basically. Uh, it's basically directed at the youth. What do you think is the talent gap that's now in terms of the community that's there as students? And what are the soft skills that are required to thrive on such a challenge as of today? And basically, in respect to the workplace requirement now, where it is more of work from home culture happening. So, what do you think are the talent skills that the youth should have to actually to move ahead in this particular industry in retail? I think Mr. Ramesh also can answer those points, but I'll start with Sanjeev if you have got anything to say on that.
Ganesh, I think the way to probably answer that question in my mind is to think about the youth who's wanting to join the modern retail industry in India, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because there is also a fairly large demand of traditional retail in India. And, there are a lot of youth who could very well take up, an entrepreneurship approach to, look at new ways to fulfill that demand. So I won't touch upon those group of people. In my heart, for last 10 years, I'm a very big supporter of entrepreneurship, and entrepreneurship does not need that you always think of creating a unicorn or $1 billion company. Entrepreneurship is also about small businesses, micro businesses, and every big economy in the world. If you look at it, even the United States today, significant part, in fact, the majority of the economy is still SMEs. It's not large businesses. So I'm looking to answer your question from two parts. So one is that you could take an entrepreneurship approach. So that needs a different skill set. And the other is the modern retail. Where you want to go into maybe a medium to large company. And if you're going into a modern retail, and if you're talking about soft skills, my sense is that there are two broad, areas I would touch upon. One is, how do you work as an individual in these new environments where you are able to have all tools and remote accessing available? How do you work there in a disciplined way? And yet, how do you work with a team? Because one of the things which is going to happen if we start working too much from remote is that you lose the sense of how you work with the teams, maybe. That's the risk. And this will unfold in time to come. We don't know, because, there are people who are missing going to office, not because of anything else, but because of the human nature to socialize,
Yeah.
to engage with people. That's how they sort of, a human being is, let's say, wired up, or DNA is wired up. Yeah. So I would say this whole thing, where one has to be very careful that you retain individual skills, soft skill, but you retain the ability to work in a team. And one of the issues I see with youth, when you do things like group discussions or other forums, is this tendency to I am the leader and I want to be the one who will drive everything. I think what you need from the youth perspective is how do I make sure that with my contribution the team succeeds, and that's a soft skill that you learn with good mentorship over a period of time with an open mind. I think the normal tendency is how do I drive in a team? I must stand out. I need to speak more, and then you start failing. And this is something I've noticed not at basic business. I've been part of global teams on regional Asia Pac committees, and I notice MBAs tend to do that. I'm an MBA myself. The MBAs tend to do this a lot. So that's a very critical skill, I think, for every youth. The other is communication. I think what has happened over a period of time is we are falling behind and stopping this. I don't know, there are a number of things at play here. Maybe it's the digital technology, but we are not able to communicate a simple thing. When I go to stores in India to shop, if I'm going to, and I ask a simple question to a store manager, I just don't get the right answer. This is 90% of the time. And part of it is that, again, the person is all about, I must sell you this shirt, or they are unable to understand what you want and communicate. And communication is not about articulated good grammar in whichever language you're comfortable. It doesn't matter. You may be very comfortable in Kannada or Bengali, but you need to have communication skills. And I would leave it at that, TR. So I'm not getting deep into the entrepreneur side of it, but for modern retail, I think these are two soft skills everybody should have.
No, I think that's one thing that's totally lacking in terms of team bonding during these times. So people are missing that, and it's quite evident. You don't get to meet people on a webinar or a Zoom call. So that's something that even I used to miss quite a lot. Now, Ramesh, being an expert in this particular field, what would you suggest? What are the traits that one should acquire?
Yeah. So the fundamentals never change, right? The fundamentals don't change. Number one, of course, what Sanjeev talked about, discipline, teamwork, and unfortunately, we are all doing online classes, etc. today. But that team building, the sense of somebody being there, the response, the way you respond to somebody, all that is undergoing a huge change, and it is not good for any youth, believe me on this, because it is going to make them probably more aggressive, thinking that they know everything, kind of a thing, or they read something, the opposite view is not coming. These things are going to take place if we continue on this, if pandemic takes more time and we are into only online. These are some of the dangers. But coming back to your question, I think when you take retail as a sector, the most important aspect, the youth has to have a passion for that field. It's extremely important. The passion is missing, he cannot be a good salesman. It is not about selling a product. It is not about giving a product. It is about caring for the customer, understanding the customer's needs, listening skills, seeing the eyes of the customer. Where is he concentrating? What is the product he knows? Then when the customer comes back, recognizing the customer, basics. I am not talking of very big things. These are basics. But if the basics are missing, then they have a problem. And if it is done because I don't have a job, I'll get into retail, something is available, that's not good enough. Second thing, Sanjeev pointed out a very important aspect, and that is what is the drawback if you are not become a specialist. You are dealing with clothes, right? You should be able to understand varieties of that garment. When somebody like Sanjeev walks in and says, I would like to, you are able to ask him, what do you want? What is it that you like? What is the kind of fit you like? most of the times you go today, you don't have people giving that sales experience. If India, it is very clear that India loves to have the touch and feel. And that will go on and it will do exceedingly well if we create talent to suit that requirement. These are very critical things in the long run. If we have to, even if you pandemic is gone and you still continue the way you are doing business, it's going to affect. Shubhankar talked about the various things of analysis, business analysis. All these are only to help you to understand your customer better and package it better. So this is something which are basics, and we continue to talk about basics to the youth. That's the most important thing.
Thanks, Ramesh. Now, Shubhankar, you are representing the entire youth as a community. Okay. So what is your perspective in the thought that has been exchanged so far? What do you feel? How do you project yourself in terms of a saleable commodity to the retail industry? I know that you also have a subject in retail management per se in your course, but what do you feel that you will project to the community that will become more attractive for them? I'm basically looking at your viewpoint here.
So one thing, as Ramesh sir again and Sanjeev sir also said, it's all about, projecting myself it has to be a digital form now,
Okay.
yeah. Because as we said that, as Ramesh has said just right now, understanding your customer, it's all about that. So in the retail industry, rather than understanding what is good for me, how much less time it will take to me to make my sales, it's better as you can understand a customer. You just be in your platform, seeing that this customer is coming to my platform, looking at this product every day. It may happen, it happens with me. I go to Flipkart every day. I just check a few things, keep it in my cart, but I don't buy it. If a retailer, if I project myself in case, in that sense, if I check it, like if in my platform one customer is coming and seeing that product every day, then if I give it offers, like various kind of email offers or messaging offers to them, there's a high chance that I can sell my product up. So being a youth, it's one thing to come up is that not me myself making a person in front of them. I have to make myself the platform of the Flipkart. I believe it like that. That Bhaiya, come to me. This is my things. This is your understanding. This is what you want. So okay. So is it satisfying you? Then take it away. I believe in that manner. At least in that sense, I'm getting things right now.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Subhasis, I think you have to unmute yourself before we get into the call. So.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
So I don't know what category you're handling currently, because retail is a very wide sector. So if I may know what category you're handling.
I'm taking care of footwear and accessory mostly.
Okay. So if you're looking at that particular aspect, what are the challenges that you think will come in the new normal? Now you're talking about people trying out apparel and trying the shoe size. Now,
Okay.
don't you think that there's a digital possibility to address that too? All you go to your portal, put in your weight, height, and your the main size, automatically the fitment comes in. So that's not going to be a challenge at all, as per me. That is going to be the new normal. So it's not that you physically go and try something. So what do you feel about that? What will be the format of stores then? Will it be large? Will it come down to medium, or will it be small?
A few problem. I'll not say problem. Few challenges in e-commerce sector I'll highlight, and after highlighting that, I'll add few points on Sanjeev sir and Ramesh sir both. Coming to what are the challenges we are facing? First thing, in in e-commerce industry, certain unscrupulous sellers are there and certain unscrupulous buyers are there. So both sides are challenge. One thing, because the digital platform is a platform, that means there is nobody to guide you. Only information should be available in your platform. If I'm buying a t-shirt or a shoes, because whoever is buying online, these people are bit intelligent in terms of information they have compared to the retail buyer. So generally they go by those information. It is not only size, it's kind of material, it's kind of feed. It is there are so many information. Even nowadays, the manufacturing information and warranty information. and so many things, customer cares and support information. So many things are there. I am into e-commerce industry. I'll tell you small problem I faced, because 2 3 months back I purchased a particular earphone for me, but after 1 2 months, when that means that it could not that did not function, then I did not find how I can get it replaced, or how can I get the service of that because of this pandemic situation. One problem is footwear and accessories concern. In footwear, the fit is a problem. Because people will buy, and sometimes somebody that if I'm making 100 style and my feet size is 8, and all those 100 size 8 will not fit to me. In some area it will fit 9, and some out of 100 size 70 or 60 sizes will fit my feet if my feet is 8. So that is, there are many areas, many challenges. Another challenge I'll highlight in e-commerce industry, because there are so many people, they will come but they don't have knowledge how to operate, because nowadays mostly marketplace, because you cannot hold so many things, and platform like Flipkart and Amazon, they have nearly, if I'm not wrong, nearly 10 crores of customers. And nowadays they are operating in a marketplace model, and they are associated with nearly 40 50,000 of sellers. So out of those 50,000 sellers, nearly half of the sellers are not aware of so many things. That means that how a e-commerce company works. So at the end, it creates a customer dissatisfaction. Most of the customer dissatisfaction, it happens in terms of information. In terms of information, what I say, because the kind of information they are giving and the kind of product they are sending, sometimes that is a problem. Sometimes somebody will order something, that they will send something. There are so many things. And another challenge in the e-commerce industry in India today, logistic. Logistic is bigger challenge. Logistic is bigger challenge, because e-commerce industry most of the time will feel that a particular customer will get a product at a very lower price. But India is not that much. I'll not say what I'll say. Is not in a that much advanced stage compared to our eastern countries like UK, US, in terms of logistic partners. So logistic is bigger challenge in e-commerce industry. And apart from that, now if I'll come to the positive thing in e-commerce industry, e-commerce sector, that it gives you an enormous area. That means in your phone, that means you have n number of things to buy, in terms of a selection, in terms of information, in terms of that means in terms of price information. So all those things are very easily available. If you're an intelligent buyer, then that is very good for him. But in India, now the internet penetration even not more than 50%. If it's 50% because of Geo, it has now I think marginally crossed 50%. So there are so many people, they are not aware of internet, aware of internet use. So these are the challenges exist. But gradually, what I feel, I hope it would be overcome. Gradually, it would be overcome. Our seller would be intelligent, buyer would be intelligent. More buyers, new youth generation, when they are exposed to digital platform, and they are relying more on e-commerce. So e-commerce industry, definitely it would be a boom. So apart from now, very briefly, I'll because e-commerce industry or retail industry, Shubhankar told about analytics. That is definitely a major part of retail industry and e-commerce industry. Apart from analytics, there are so many areas you need proper management. Because suppose I'm talking about e-commerce industry, how many areas there people can make a career, starting from buying, sourcing, cataloging, marketing, customers, warehouse management, logistics. There are so many areas. So those areas also, as a student, we should focus. And now I will add 2 points as my respected panelists. 2 points. One point, Mr. Sanjeev, I think he told people don't have that knowledge how to buy. I will give you a small example. I am not a salesperson. I am working for sourcing for footwear, accessory, and sometimes apparel also. I have a very small experience for apparel. So one day I visited to the market. I saw what the salesperson is doing. They are telling men anything they will tell. But we have to understand if we are selling to, because nowadays we are the platform I am working, we are dealing a B2B business. That means we are selling to retailers. All these retailers, they are in the industry for last 20 years. They understand the product. But my salesperson, I saw what they are doing to sell that product. They are saying n number of things. Out of n number of things, nearly 60% of those are bluffs. So what I told, and we have a target. I'm not a salesperson. They have a target of selling nearly 20,000 rupees. But I told them, I'm not a salesperson. Just give me a day, because that was my market visit for a day for that particular area. I told him, just give me this a day. I'll sell it. And I gave them proper information, and I sold 5 times of 20,000. So this is one area. He told that we have to change our attitude towards sales. And second thing, as a student, apart from desire, you should feel the freedom when you are working. You should have the attitude. You should have the freedom, attitude, and then that means you should be courageous to take your job. So these are the things you should have to take it further in the retail industry. It is a vast industry, and many now it is facing its difficulties. The most difficult phase, but gradually it will cover up. So taking to you.
Yeah, thanks. No, just to get a final feed on the sectors that you look will open up. Sanjeev, I'll come to you here, being an industry expert. Do you see that the focus is going to be on a particular industry which is going to boom in retail, which is going to be much more than the others? For example, pharma retail is something that we never know in India. It's quite famous across the globe. But pharma being a restricted product in India, though we have online marketing companies in the pharma industry. So do you see any sectors that is up for a big boom the coming year?
I think that it's not so easy to say which particular sector will boom, because retail, is going to grow as the economy grows. It's one of the engines of growth of any major economy. I think if I was to answer this question, what I'll probably say is that retail of services is going to see an exponential growth. So, if you look at, I don't know what's a great example, but, see hair cutting, just a very simple thing, hair cutting, which used to be done in the very good old days. I remember in my grandparents' time, a cutter would even come home, a hair cutter would come home and do the, hair cutting. And then we had the traditional barber shops, and now in metros you have all kind of salon kind of shops, chains coming up. At the end of the day, that's also retailing. You're retailing a service, you're not retailing a product. So, and services in most big countries and large economies, they are much bigger than manufactured products. So if I was to answer your question, India is going to see a boom in services. And services, to pick up some of the other points, that in products, India has touch and feel. Services, a lot of them are actually given with a personal sort of delivery. You could have financial or other services which don't have that. So we're going to see a very interesting sort of, I would say, future here, where manufactured products are definitely going to grow. More or less, we in India attribute retail to, I would say, so far, the FMCG industry, the consumer durable industry, and the apparel and footwear industry. One can generally say these are the three industries which kind of stand out when you talk of retail, right? But if you look, you are seeing increasingly as people become affluent, they will start, thinking about their houses. The interior decor industry is booming. Lifestyles has a separate chain of stores which is doing very well in India on, and that sector is getting, I would say, organized in that way. That, and absolutely, you said pharma, is an industry as healthcare improves, and in India you have a lot of healthcare which is still OTC without prescription, so that drives that sector a lot. Automobile consumption is shooting up, though we've had a setback for a couple of years, but we had a secular run for many years. And you see so many showrooms, and the entire retail industry of automobile sector has become very modern, let's say, in that way. So I see this explosion, but I think service sector is the one which would probably grow faster than maybe the product sector of the retail side of it. And maybe financial services are becoming another very big,
Huge.
Yes.
huge aspect. And this
Huge.
is very interesting because, when we talk on these panels and all, we are sometimes talking about solutions career, which is the 10% of India, the pyramid of the thing. But when you look at the bottom 90% of India, fintech leading to retail services in villages, metros, class 2 towns, I think this is going to be huge going forward. Healthcare services in this areas, educational, retail, retail is going to become sort of merged with a lot of other things, so it's quite interesting. I think for retail, anybody looking at career for retail, I would say just don't think about the classic old format of a store box format where you're selling. That will retain, that will be there, but it's a very exciting future coming up with several possibilities.
Yeah, to Ramesh on one particular aspect, though it is not retail per se. What about the hospitality industry per se? Basically, when I say hospitality, I'll also talk about hotels and restaurants. Restaurants mainly because you have a lot of takeaways, which becomes a place for retail these days. Because you come to buy, you don't come to eat, you come to pick up stuff. So,
Absolutely.
what do you say about that particular aspect? Because I think we have not. I think we have just got 2 minutes now. We have to start with the question. So, you can quickly sum up, Ramesh, on that part.
Yeah. I just before that, I'll tell you about pharma. There's a regulation in place because of which they have not allowed e-commerce into pharma in a big way. They're still, there's a big fight between the association and government and all that. The moment that gets cleared, I tell you, pharma will explode, on one side of it. Just a point to mention. On the hospitality, yes, I think hospitality, believe me, in the sense, this is my own personal feeling. We are talking of whether we talk of retail, services, everything. It is an experience. Can we package retail, hospitality, anything as an experience? Earlier, you had large families, you had family get-togethers, you had a lot of socialization happening. These days, what is happening? It's becoming very, very concentrated. So you go to a movie, you go to a restaurant. These are the kind of enjoyment and recreations which are coming up. And in that, if the feel is not good, obviously you will not go there. But if you are able to make your selling a great experience, believe me, things will come back very soon.
Okay, thank you. Now we're getting into the question and answer session, last 15 minutes of the show. Now, I have got a question from one of the audience. This is for Sanjeev. I'll read the question. Some of the world's biggest retail brands have shut shop or filed for bankruptcy. What is the secret code for retail in the new normal?
I think that's a great question. And, this is so true that retail world over is one of those strange industries where, first of all, very few companies actually become profitable over a very long term. Even Amazon.com world over doesn't make its profit from the retail business. In fact, they almost just lose money. They make it from their cloud business, from their digital business. And, I've had customers in my career, big brands, Marks and Spencer, IKEA, and I've observed some of these. And in India, we worked for several years with the Retailer Association of India, which is the largest association here, and have seen some of these brands. There is no secret sauce that I can come to and say, but I want to pick up the earlier point, the first point that I talked about, sustainability. As far as the big chains are concerned, anywhere in the world you go, whether it's India or elsewhere, the one thing that is standing out is the ones who are thinking future 10, 15 years ahead and adopting sustainable business practices have a higher chance of surviving. Whether it be climate proofing their business, whether it is making inclusive business models, because retail industry is always an industry which gets attacked by activists, there's a lot of consumer pressure, there's a lot of policy pressure, and the new norm, the new future is going to be sustainable living. So this is one mega trend that I'm seeing, which will happen. And, the ones who adopt to this, and TR, back to your own company, Unilever 2 weeks ago has announced a carbon neutrality plan, so it's happening everywhere now.
Yeah, again, I think the questions are all e-commerce online centric. I'll give it back to Sanjeev again. In fact, we answered this question during our discussion, but again, to make it short, in the e-commerce world, can artificial intelligence help to get a feel or touch of the product?
Yes, it can. I can give you an example of a very successful I would say, initiative which happened. This was by a British chain called Tesco. Tesco is one of the largest FMCG chains in the world, and their subsidiary in Korea, I think they're called Lotus, I'm not sure. So they used AI, and AI is one aspect of it, but they used AI with VR, virtual reality. So what happens in Korea is that that people work very long hours in office. They have hardly any time to go and shop. So what these people did is, in a metro station, when consumers are waiting to board the train, you have those glass panels. They actually projected the entire store with shelves and everything, and you just sort of go around the store, pick things up, put it in a cart. By the time you reach home, the delivery is there with you.
Wow.
Right? So and this, by the way, is 10 years old, or maybe 7-8 years old. So things have moved. For example, apparel fits now. Marks and Spencers and the others have digital, ways for you to do that. But there are some limitations. There are some changes which are happening. If I may just take another 30-40 seconds and share with you that, as we speak, there are a set of cutting-edge startup labs just outside Boston in the USA, which are now already got lab results of growing products. So in other words, if you want a pair of shoes, they can grow a pair of shoes, right? Maybe, who knows, 20, 30 years, we'll have a completely different way of delivering and making customized products. But that aside, I think AI has got quite a lot of, impact already, and will be a very big enabler. It's an enabler. We have to always remember technology is an enabler. It is not the end. There are human beings involved in this entire thing, engagement.
Yeah, I have a question. It's on retail supply chain management. I thought I will take that question on myself. The question is like this: how is the retail supply chain management changing the new retail world, and what are the current trends? Now, during this scenario of the pandemic, all forecasts have gone out of the window. So what's happening is the lead time gets narrowed out quite a lot. Warehousing gets limited to quite a small, limited amount of space. So these are the two challenges that we face. Now, what has been happening is the first 4 or 5 months, like, people were stuck with inventory. You look at any industry, whether it's auto, whether it is FMCG, whether it's consumer durables, they had a plan for the first 6 months, and that bombed very badly. So what I feel is, like, I'm going to see that the lead times are going to get cut down further. It is going to be end-to-end, back-to-back, from the factories to the distribution partners, or even to end consumers. So when you talk about even virtual spaces, probably even partners can go to that virtual space and order the products based on availability. So you're going to see a huge change in terms of cutting down of overheads in terms of logistics. That's all I have to say on this particular point. Okay, now can I give this to Ramesh? What are the new retail technologies to watch out for? What are they likely to adopt in the new future? I didn't understand the question, but if somebody has got an idea of what it means, they can answer. You can raise your hand and answer that question. What would be the retail technologies to watch out for? We spoke about AI, we spoke about robotics. Is there anything else that we missed out?
Probably all the ease of, your billing counter, like here just now, the virtual place, you just pick it up and the material is already there in your house in one. Those aspects are already there. A lot of those kind of technologies are already there in the market. You don't have to stand in a line to pay it automatically. You just pick up and the code is taken. It's already into the basket. It happens in retail also, like you do it in e-commerce. So those aspects have already come in, and the entire store in Seattle is being managed by robots and all that. So I think those aspects in that retail areas, a lot of technology advancements have happened.
Okay. Now this is for Sanjeev. It's about China retail embargo. That is the topic. I can't answer that question because in the Middle East, China is quite acceptable in terms of a country of origin. So I can't say much. The question is this: does the China retail embargo bring in new market opportunities in retail? And what are these, and how do we capitalize on that?
Okay. I mean, that's well, let me just give you a quick insight. I actually lived for many years in Hong Kong and ran a large business in China, and including a consumer business also. So that aside, I think this is something we shouldn't assume is long term. We are having these changes in the way the global world behaves, that we have nationalist policies in many countries, and there are short term. So in the short to medium term, it will have an opportunity. But if one assumes that by having a barrier to trade and growing, it's not worked in India. We had that for 30, 40 years. So there has to be international trade cannot be stopped, or should not in fact be stopped, is my personal view. Right now, temporarily, there would be some upside for Indian companies, but I would not bet on this being long term. In fact, I would be very cautious. Yeah, so that's the way I would sort of answer that briefly.
Okay. The next question is again something we discussed and what Sanjeev answered. So it is basically e-commerce had an upper hand in 2019 over brick and mortar. In 2020, it gained another advantage of social distancing and contactless ordering. What are the sectors that you think is going to rise more? I think Sanjeev has answered that. It's basically on the services sector and also the health sector. So these are the two important sectors that are going to boom. So I can answer that question for you. Now, the last question, again, a very tricky one. How long will it take for retail to bounce back as an industry in the physical format? And what are the norms of the new normal? The norms of the new normal we, of course, mentioned while we discussed in the panel. But who wants to take it? Sanjeev, can you take that? How long will it take retail to bounce back? Any estimate? I can give Ramesh also some astrological predictions.
No, Suhas should say. They are planning.
Yeah, I think Suhas will probably be able to give an answer, because my sense is that unless movement becomes normal for all states, because states are taking their own decisions on this. So if movement, from your house to outside becomes normal without restrictions, we can't see the physical retail really picking up that much. And as things stand, that looks towards the end of the year, not earlier. But I think Suhas may have a better view on
Suhas,
this.
any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Suhas, your thing is off.
At least the medicine, the COVID vaccine, all these are important.
Yeah.
So right now, what I hope, that means, as I already told, that means we have to change something. What I can expect, that means by December, I think that means we'll have a positive sign on it. And looking, that is my personal opinion. Now, what as per my, that means my viewpoint, what I want, that means the operation should be started. The challenge now I'm facing, because most of my sellers, they have started operation, but randomly they are facing certain lockdown and shutdown. So because they are bringing employees, and communication is very much difficult right now. But I hope by another 3-4 months, by December or next year, from January, I think things would be positive. That is my hope.
Okay.
And right now, the more issue is with the kind of restriction that is government has put, because many area putting those restrictions that is not good for the industry at this moment, because it is nearly 4 months. So that means we are in any sort of form of a lockdown. So that will paralyze other. If the things will continue, it will paralyze the economic system also. So what I hope, that means by another 2-3 months, government will understand and people will understand that at this moment now people are understanding it, that now with precaution we should go ahead. Most of my partners with who I am working, they are very much interested to start their operation and go ahead. But the thing is that they also, that they have to accept that we have to take certain precaution that is very much needed. I am very much hopeful and positive. By December, things would be in a positive direction. By next 3 months for India is very much challenging, what I'll say.
Okay, great. Now, what I want to, Shubhankar, I want you to be the representative of the youth and wind up. In terms of summary, what have you learned in this panel discussion, and what would you would like to tell the audience about what you have gathered so far?
Okay, thank you, sir, for that opportunity. So from this whole panel discussion as a youth, the main key points, first of all, which is gained from here, That is, as Sanjeev sir already mentioned, in Korea, AI and all things are coming up. So obviously, being even if you are a marketing student, whatever student you may be, you have to first focus on the technological part because it is growing. Because staying in Bangalore itself, I myself have seen there is a restaurant in which people are, there are robots already been serving things out. So first thing is that make yourself a tech savvy person, even being in whatever branch you may be. Secondly, speaking of Ramesh sir, as he have already spoken, the soft spoken skills also spoken by Sanjeev sir also, the skills you need to put up. That yes, sir, being in college, yes, in group discussions, we lack that thing. Even in our online classes which are going on, we lack that thing, interactive sessions. So in a group discussion to make up a team, it needs teamwork. You need to understand that has been lacking, but you have to build it up somehow, and your communication skills as well. And as a positive note of Shivaji sir also, that in 2-3 months it's gonna be back into track. I have a little bit of diversion in that, as because speaking of Korea itself, there are most probably mixed reality coming up. AR VR has already been going, or not off the market, going off the trend, because mixed reality where people sitting in their homes can order up things and they can already see that how things are going to look like. So ultimately, all the things, if we sum up, it's all about positivity and yes, being in tech savvy and also growing up your skills as a retailer or as a marketer, whatever it may be. So that
Brilliant.
it can be taking up some courses also online, because as we can see, Coursera and few things are giving up courses. So that is also helpful. So I would recommend to take up courses as well. Thank you.
That's been brilliant. I think it's been a very wonderful discussion with experts like Sanjeev and Ramesh coming in, Shubhankar's views, and also Suhas. So I think all along it has been a very fruitful session, and I really enjoyed being part of the show. And thank you everybody. Before I pass it on to Deepika.
Thank you. Good
Thanks a
evening
lot,
to
Ramesh.
Thank you very much, Ganesha, and a good evening to everyone. And Ganesha, good afternoon to you again. I understand your time zone being different. So, yes, we indeed had a very beautiful, informative session. Thank you, panelists, and thank you, Ganesha, for being such a wonderful moderator and such wonderful panelists. It was great. I'm sure the youth enjoyed it. Also, I have an information for you people. Please do not go out, do not log out. Stay tuned. We would be having a quiz video being played from Giri Big Brain. Please stay tuned in. And I also have a couple of information to be shared with you all shortly.
Hi friends, this is Quizmaster Pig Brain, and I'm here to encourage you to take part in the YCC Industry Awareness Quiz. Well, you're certainly enjoying the panel discussions as much as I have been dropping in and enjoying those. But this quiz is a lovely idea for you youngsters to try and gauge for yourself on how much of the industry you know. Well, the good thing about the digital medium is you get to know how much you know. No one else gets to know how much you don't know. So, time for you to get started with the Industry Awareness Quiz. Just get on right now. It takes no more than 10 minutes. You'll enjoy it, I assure you that. In my own words, your time starts now.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses. We still have a couple of information to be shared with you, announcements to be made. Thank you, panelists and the moderator, sir, for today's wonderful session. The lines for the quiz, industrial track quiz, are open. Today being the last day, kindly get in and then register yourself and sign in for the quiz. The second announcement, a very important announcement, is for your visual profiling till August 15, 2020. It is open, so please, all the youth present there watching, enroll yourself, enroll your colleagues, enroll your classmates, and take the benefit of the platform and make your visual profile. Going on for the next coming Monday, we are going to have wonderful keynote speaker with us, Mr. Srinivasan, Ramji Srinivasan. He's the founder director of Sports Dynamics. We have interesting and new industrial tracks to be played for you all on Monday, which is starting with digital world, edtech, e-commerce and logistics, sports administration and fitness. So thank you very much for attending the session. Stay tuned. Look forward to seeing all of you all on this Monday, and stay safe, stay in. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.